So one of the things that I think is really important, I think this is important for the audience that we have here today. If you are in your beautiful penthouse apartment in Manhattan, or you're in a hotel in Geneva, it is sometimes really difficult to fully, truly understand what refugees around the world are actually going through, because their lives are so, so different from what your everyday experience is, to the point that you almost cannot even relate to it. You know, when you think about what's happening in the Middle East, it's so easy, as I was saying when I first got on stage, it's so easy to feel a sense of disconnection, despair, hopelessness. But behind all of these awful, staggering numbers, behind all of these news stories are real people who are genuinely suffering. You have such a great sense of connection, you know? How do we not lose sight of the real faces and the real lives behind some of these stories?
Well, I think that coming to events like this is helpful, because everyone here at Action Against Hunger is so connected to what is actually happening on the ground. And I see my job as facilitating the people who are actually on the ground doing the work. And that is our job in our incredibly lucky lives, you know, that we've been blessed with to be able to help. And I think that also, you know, we have a computer right in front of us all day long. And you can look up so many things that aren't covered in the news. If Zain can't cover everything, which she's just one person, you know, you can look things up and you can read about the work, and you can read about people's lives. And I just think that we have such a potential for connection that isn't always used. And so that's one thing that I would say. I'm lucky that I get to travel and actually meet the people. And I see it as my job to tell their stories and to represent them in situations such as this beautiful evening. But I think also it's one of those things that it doesn't have to end tonight. You know, you can keep up with what happened with your donations. You can keep up with the women's business that you helped start. It is, second to giving the money, as Harry said, the most rewarding thing. I've often gotten to go back and see people after they've initially arrived in a country, to be able to revisit them, even refugees in America when we were still accepting them, which we're about to do again, thank goodness, to go see them in Pittsburgh.
Wait, hold on, you visit the refugees that you help. You visit them in America.
I do. I know, I'm honored to do so, and can I tell you, they're so thrilled to be here. Even when we weren't necessarily the most hospitable place, they were so thrilled. And it is a humbling experience to take one to a grocery store and say, pick out anything you want in America. It's so beautiful and amazing. So I think you just have to make a little bit of effort to be in touch with those personal stories, and it is gonna bring you more than that effort that it took.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to lose sight of just how privileged we really are.
That's true.
So for people who really don't understand, you know, what it's like to be completely displaced, what it's like to live in a refugee camp, and even if you're not in a refugee camp, you spent time in Moldova, right?
Yes.
Visiting Ukrainian refugees. These are people who have no idea whether they're going to see their families or their homes ever again. Just explain to people in the audience who might not, because the news articles that you read only tell you so much,
it's
right?
It's true, yes.
Can you just describe some of what some of these refugees and displaced people shared with you?
Okay, I might cry again, but I'll try. I think the thing that is most hard to understand is that anyone at any time, unfortunately, could become a refugee. Conflict, as we know, is a horrible reality of our world. It's not getting any better, it's getting worse. And so many people are displaced in so many places that the news cycle seems overwhelmed and can't cover, for whatever reason. You're a big part of that not happening. But
it's very fast moving, the news cycle.
It certainly is, and there's a lot of news, as we know. But there's people everywhere, and they don't ever really expect to be displaced. They don't expect to leave their homes. But violence can break out suddenly, and they have to leave with the clothes on their back. You know, violence can break out and scatter families, and those families can never find each other again. That's one of the big things we do at UNHCR, is trying to reunite families. This happens in so many places and with such brutality that it's hard to encapsulate, really. For instance, the Myanmar refugees who have gone to Bangladesh. what they have been through is stunning, and it's a mass situation. They don't know if they will ever be able to go home, but also they don't know if they want to go home because of the violence that was perpetrated against them based on their religion and their background. So you do see a lot of really shocking things that you wish weren't happening at this day and age, but they are. And there are people there to help them. And there aren't a lot of people, but there are people. And Action Against Hunger is one of them. UNHCR is one of them. And in my book, you want to align yourself with the people who are there to help those people. Those people have nothing. They were not prepared to have to flee with their children when they can't even feed their children, when they have no money, no clothes. Sometimes they've been robbed on the trip. Sometimes they've had to hide in bushes to be able to safely escape their country. It is a shocking reality that far too many people face. So I feel like you're here, and that means you already are on the good side. But we've got to rise up, because the other side is worse and louder and obviously creating havoc in our world. So we have to band together, we have to feel good about what we're doing, and we have to push harder to do more. I don't know if I answered your question.
You did. Thank you so much, Kristin. Can I just say, I admire you because of your talent, but I respect you because of your kindness. That is the truth. Thank you.
You do so much. You do so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.